Welcome to the Make Your Money Matter Show. I'm your host, Brad Barrett. I'm also a managing director and partner here at One Capital Management. And given Independence Day, July 4th is upon us, I want to talk about something super important: financial freedom and financial independence, and really what it's all about. Hint, it's all about income, cash flow. You may think that accumulation or investing is the most important part of the game, and don't get me wrong, it is important. We talk about it all the time here on the show, but income is like water. You just can't live without it. So we're gonna focus on that today here on the show. But before we get started, make sure to smash that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single episode. All right, let's get into it. So I wanna start the show today with a question for all of us. It's a little bit theoretical, but go with me here. If the things in life that you thought were true were actually wrong in context, when would you wanna know? And I'll give you an example here. I remember a story when I was a kid, and we must have been going on a road trip with my parents somewhere. And I remember my parents saying, and again, we had a conversation somehow, that drinking and driving was against the law. Now, for many years after that, when I would see someone drinking like a Coca-Cola or a soda while driving, I literally assumed they were criminals. Now, obviously, years later, I found out as I got older that what my parents were actually talking about was drinking alcohol while driving. Now, obviously, I can laugh at the absurdity of this today, but I think it's actually a perfect example of how easy it can be to carry around what I'll call half-truths when you actually don't know what you don't know, okay? Look, many of us, many people, we go through life believing things without ever considering the possibility that those things are actually wrong. I see it every day as a financial advisor around money, right? Every conversation I typically have, like the misinterpretation of financial terms or the misapplication of various wealth strategies, and confusion really about one main subject I know, which is risk tolerance, right? How much risk people are taking on. And here's what I want to share is misconceptions, especially with money, come with costly consequences. And I think one of the main culprits of this is the internet. It's okay, we can all admit it. Let's just be honest here that when Google says something, right, we are all of a sudden, think it's right. And we have this instant access to an unlimited amount of information, but rarely is this information with context. I mean, again, if Google says it's true, it must be true, right? As a result, I think all of us, we end up with a false sense of confidence and really probably a list of beliefs that maybe aren't necessarily true. So I want to debunk one of these when it comes to financial confidence and really how that leads us into what we all want, right? What we as a country wanted, now celebrating July 4th, which is freedom and independence. And financial confidence leads into that, right? Really starts with answering these two questions. Number one is this: how much actual income, remember, I was talking about income being about financial independence and freedom, right? How much actual income do you have coming in right now that you don't have to work to receive? Hint, I'm talking about passive income here. And by the way, actual dollars, when I mean this, is actual dollars being deposited into your checking or brokerage account is what I'm talking about here. And the second question is this: if you quit working tomorrow, as an example, how much money would you need to cover all of your expenses? And what I mean by expenses is taxes, trips, lifestyle expenses, etc. Now, if you're like most people, most of the clients that we serve here at One Capital, there's a gap, and that's okay. There's a gap between how much income you're receiving and how much income you need. So if you want to stop working, again, becoming financially free or independent, you'll need to figure out how to close this gap with income. Again, income or money in general is like water. If you don't tell it where to go, it's gonna go wherever it's gonna go. And I think it's important we start, in losing and discussing that analogy, right? Damming off sections of our life where we need our money to go. And the first place you want it to go is your pocket. That's income. You start there. And every wealth strategy, every retirement plan, every analysis of becoming financially free or independent starts right there. Now, how is financial security different than financial freedom, you might be asking? I think you need to start with understanding the difference, right? The idea of financial security, I don't think can necessarily be defined by exact numbers or percentages like we often, try to do, right? Because it's typically expressed security as a feeling, an emotion of safety. That's why I think most people focus on things like reducing debt or accumulating money. All great, but they believe that maybe spending less or paying less in interest and earning more on their investments is what will lead them to a successful life or retirement or something that feels secure. And obviously having large sums of money, again, brings a sense of financial security, but it doesn't exactly create financial freedom. I think that's a misnomer there. This is why you hear me every week talk about having a plan, having a wealth forecast. I mean, here at our firm, what we do for our clients is what we build a sustainable retirement plan, showing our clients, showing the investor, showing the client what their income needs are, and then relating that to their savings and their investments and answering the biggest question that is going to lead to here, right? Was when it comes to, again, being financially free is, will I have enough money to last me the rest of my life? Answering that question, my friends, is what leads you to becoming financially free and independent. And to get to that question, you have to answer those previous two I just brought up, which again were how much money is coming in without me working for it, passive income. By the way, passive income can be rental income. It can also be dividends. So you don't have to necessarily have real estate, as everyone out there saying, has to be rental income. No, it can be dividends. It could be other passive sources, right? And then the second question was, if I were to quit my job tomorrow, really answering and knowing how much money you would need to cover your lifestyle. Okay, you answer those two questions, you can get to that final one, which again is most important, which is, will I have a sustainable and financially free and financially independent life? Hey, I hope you enjoyed that today. If you did, make sure to download and subscribe to our show so you don't miss a single episode. And always remember to make your money matter.